way you look at it, something significant played out at the House of Reps yesterday, or the National Assembly in general. I'm not talking about the back and forth about other issues. I'm talking about what affects your life, your pocket, my pocket, and organizations at large. And that's the tax proposals, right? The House of Reps has passed some of those amendments in some sense. But really, what has changed about all of that? We're joined on the program by the President, Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria. Mr. Samuel Agbelui is right here with us in our Lagos studio. Welcome to the Morning Brief, sir.
Good morning.
This is a journey we've been on for months now. I don't know, seeing what played out at the House of Reps yesterday, how significant or otherwise is it? Does it change anything? Because it's still at 7.5%, right? So does it change anything significantly, or we're just still going the same route?
Well, something significant happened. I agree. At least we are moving forward. There's progress, and that is good for the country, because at the end of the day, Nigeria needs those bills as a matter of fact. And the significance of the bills transcend the VAT discussion that has taken the center stage over the past few months. Yeah. So a lot of good things in the bills that will change the face of Nigerian economy and the tax space. So we're happy that there's a progress, there's a movement. If you settle in on the rate, 7.5 is not, the committee recommended 10% for 2025-26, and but House of Rep is saying 7.5 should remain. What it means is the consumer, an average Nigerian, will have more money in their hand. They have more money to play with, and they are able to buy more goods and also patronize more services. And that has its impact on the economy generally. You have the opportunity, it can stimulate the economy. So either way, if you increase it, the government will have more money, and they are able to do more infrastructure, all things being equal. So whichever way you look at it, it's good that we are discussing this and that we are moving forward.
But I'm curious, really, because yes, it stays at 7.5%, right? But when you go to some of these places, to businesses, to maybe you go to a high-end restaurant or places that charge VAT, right? So on the receipt, you see VAT 7.5%. Then you see consumption tax, 5%. So in actual fact, all in all, you're paying 12.5%, right? So are we really paying 7.5% VAT? Because VAT is meant to be a consumption tax, right? So why is there consumption tax separate?
Okay, when CITN, when we keep on supporting and marketing this bill, we have seen a lot of benefit inherent in that bill. The arrangement is that the moment these bills are signed into law, that will be the end of construction tax, where you have a state practicing that. That agreement is in place, I'm aware. So it will put an end to consumption tax, while VAT itself will take root. And that means 7.5, if 7.5 is what the Senate will recommend, and the two houses will agree on, then it will remain 7.5. So there are a few states where you have consumption tax that will go. That is the arrangement I'm aware of as we speak.
So, but as it stands right now, the consumption tax and that VAT, is it right? Is it in order? I know you've talked about the state arrangement, but it looks like a bit too much, because you get in there thinking, I'm paying 7.5% tax, but then they give you your receipt. I mean, you paid already most times. So is it in order? Does it help businesses? Because what you find out is a lot of people then don't go to that place of business anymore. In fact, I had someone there who glanced at that receipt and said, there's extra 5%, I'm not hungry anymore. And the person walked out. So this is actually affecting businesses right now before that bill is maybe passed and signed into law, if that happens.
Well, the basic truth is that nobody pays tax with a smile on his face. Nobody wants to pay. But the lower the rate, the better for the citizens. And I can tell you, this is one of the confusion, if I may use that word, that these bills are bringing into our system, whereby the various type of taxes above 60, above whatever, depending on the state you are in, will be coming if we retain education tax, the way the House of Rep has done yesterday.
Yeah.
Then we may be having about 10 different type of taxes. That is still a whole lot of a movement, positive movement for that matter, from what we used to have as we speak. So I tell you, end of the day, Nigeria is going to benefit from this, and let's not forget that taxation is a derivative of the economy itself. So it's a tool to move the economy. If you want more money in the hand of the citizens, then you reduce rate. They have more money, and their purchasing power will go up, and of course they will patronize the supermarket, as you mentioned.
Interesting. Very interesting days ahead, but I want us to look at quick sections of the amendment so people know what is coming, right? Because some of these bills are voluminous for people to go through. So for the purpose of attribution, any return under this section, and that's one of the amendments, shall provide details of derivation of taxable supplies by location in a manner prescribed by the service. And, the matter of attribution, derivation, or what have you. Any return under that section shall provide details of consumption of taxable supplies, irrespective of where the return is filed. Do you think that fundamentally resolves that debate? And I don't want to make this a state or a region thing, but there was a debate about derivation and all of that. Do you think that has been resolved now fully?
It actually does, and it's also part of the positive development in the bills. Wherever you consume, that is the state that is bearing the body, and it's called fiscalization, whereby companies, supermarkets, will read time on time, be able to report the location of transaction. So once that is done, then of course the VAT arising, whether you file your return in a Boeing or you file in a Kano, the place of consumption, by virtue of the fiscalization that has been embedded in the bill, will show where the VAT should go.
Yeah.
So it's a solution to a lot of headache that we have as we speak.
Hence, we didn't have as much opposition. It looks like the president has found a way to placate all the other interests. So 50% to be distributed equally, 20% based on population. That's a VAT now. 30% based on consumption derivation. The military, by the way, is exempted from personal income tax. But I want you to speak to the point I raised earlier. Bills are good, proposals are good, but in terms of ease of doing business, supporting, by the way, it's no more MSMEs, it's now NMSMEs. So there's now nano.
Yes.
That has been accommodated before we go to micro. So there are businesses that need all of the help they can get. But what do they get? Taxes upon taxes. Today, local government comes, and all of a sudden you see the bicycle tax, the TV tax, and you're thinking, I'm just making 20,000 naira monthly from this business, right? So in terms of helping businesses, and what businesses should know as well, in terms of your turnover, if you don't do up to a certain threshold, you shouldn't pay tax. But you still find businesses that are maybe doing 10 million, still putting it there just in case they come for them. So ease of doing business. I'd like you to speak to that, particularly for businesses who are not doing as high turnover, but they're still worried that they will come for them nonetheless.
Thank you for that question. This is where the work will just be starting. Immediately these bills are passed into law. The laws will not implement
themselves.
So we will need to sit down and do the real work. The headache, if I may use that word, particularly as we speak, rests mostly with the local government, where all manners of taxes are collected, and even at the state, what we have realized in CITN is that when the politicians are campaigning, they have support from various entities and people, and at the end of the day, after election, those people will go back and say, okay, how do I get compensated? And we have seen states whereby the governor will say, okay, go to the south of the state, whatever you can collect, that will be your payback. Some people will take money to the government and say, okay, I'll give you 10 billion. I know I will be able to collect these taxes. So I have this money to do the work of the government. And so how it collects, whether it collects 20 billion, nobody knows. This is not taxation. This is just a crude way of collecting money from people. And Nigeria cannot sustain this. So we pray these bills will be passed into law, but the job will just be beginning.
Right.
Because we need a lot of advocacy. The market women, there is no law. We don't really have a lot of burden, legally speaking, for this set of people. But the non-state actors that have been supported by the people in government, in power, these are the people we need to address. If you move some 2 kilometers away from this office, you see on the expressway, where boys, you don't know where they are coming from, stop trucks and they collect money.
In fact, they have a yellow jacket they wear now.
Exactly. So that is not what we need. This is not how to classify Nigeria as a civilized environment. So a lot of work. The federal government is doing this, but we need to do a lot of advocacy. The state governors and the local government, they need to know that we can't continue the old ways. Otherwise, Nigeria will not move and we won't get the benefit that we are supposed to get from this tax bill. Because
some of the structures are also to oil the political wheel.
Exactly.
You know, job for the boys. You've worked for my election. You take this, I look away, sadly.
We need to move away from that.
I really hope that this would mean new things. Again, it's just been passed. There's still another process. We're still looking at the upper legislative house, and then there's the eventual signing, which we don't know how long that will take. But quite important points you have raised, and I'm glad we're talking local government. But most importantly, it's like the job is just getting started. So you wouldn't mind if we call you later to continue this journey we started some months ago?
We are available. We are available. It's a service to our great nation.
We have to thank you so much, President, Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, Mr. Samuel Agbelui, for providing more insight into this and speaking to what really matters in this conversation. Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you for having me.